The key to stimulating muscle growth is the intensity of the exercise.
Experiencing pain in your muscles and then go on, and this last repetitions, that's what makes the muscle grow.
Hi, Hassan Khan here. Welcome to my fitness channel. I run this for fun. Before we jump into natural hypertrophy training, if I can kindly request a quick moment of your time, I have an important message for you. So normally I'm an engineer and software project management consultant by profession. And my message is that we are facing unprecedented times as technology races forward unlike any other time in history, and you might very well be impacted. Basically, AI is eating tactical roles in white-collar jobs silently, and we are facing a 50% headcount reduction by 2030. And if you're impacted, the only way you'll know is if one day your login is removed out of the blue. And that's to avoid spooking the workforce. And even slow-moving organizations will adopt fast once they see themselves losing market share to those ahead of them using AI automation technology. The good news is this trend does create an opportunity. I've spent more than 2,500 hours researching and working on a solution to this issue. I found a McKinsey report which estimates 175 million new AI orchestration roles will be made by 2030. So if you're a coder, a software engineer, or a tactical project manager doing things like scheduling, status updates, spreadsheets, balancing ledger work, business analysis work, your role will be impacted. AI can already do this work. And this isn't to scare you. It's simply the truth. So check out my blog. It teaches you how to pivot to AI deployment project management consulting, totally for free. There is an accelerator program. However, the blog has tons of material for free, including a 90-day roadmap on the transformation. Of course, if you do it with me, you can do it a lot faster, but it is there. And the blog also includes an alert system for new AI orchestration and FinTech contract project management roles. And I made everything myself. All of the tools, the articles, the training portal, and so on. So I encourage you to check it out, and I appreciate your attention. Now, let's get back to pumping weights with my signature intensity-based training for natural hypertrophy. Appreciate your time. Thank you. Hammers, welcome back. My name is Hassan. This is my Vlogs channel, and you are joining me today for a leg workout. Quick introduction. Pretty much the Vlog series, I document my journey of bulking 50 pounds. And I started off at 130, and now I am at 170. Over a 24-month period, I went from 130 pounds to 170 pounds. And that's at about constant body fat. I was at about 10% before, and I'm at about 10% now, maybe slightly under. So that got me motivated to start this channel and share with people how I did it. Because I notice online, people don't believe it's possible. And really, it is. You just have to put the right ingredients together. So that is the plan for today. We are going to have a killer leg workout. I am getting myself in state. I need to absolutely destroy this leg workout. Leg workouts for me are a sacred day. They are a proxy to my mission. Now, they didn't start off like this. For the first year, I did the medium intensity, but slowly it grew into this mindset. Before, it was just cardio was the proxy to the mission, which I do stair sprints, 15 minutes a day to get me fired up and get me in the focus zone and all of that. But slowly I realized the more effort I put into legs, the better they respond. And it grew into the mindset that I'm about to share with you guys. But before we go into that, what is the basic formula for putting on 50 pounds of muscle naturally? And the basic formula for putting on 50 pounds of muscle is one, intensity techniques. You have to employ intensity techniques. And what do I mean by this? Basically, as a natural athlete, you don't have a lot of options. So you have to get this right, which is supersets, drop sets, rest pauses, and length and partial reps. You have to pour them into your workout like nobody's business. This is all you have. Like, just go all out on these techniques and they will pay off. Okay, so you do that, and you also track your reps and sets and exercise and half reps. You'll see my logs in the beginning. And you fight for matching your reps at the very minimum and beating them when you can. Of course, in the first year or so, you're going to always be beating them, but eventually you reach a point where you're at near your genetic limit, which now I am. But I definitely think I can put on 10 more pounds. I put on 40 pounds of muscle. I do think I can put on 10 more pounds naturally. Lean mass, not fat, of course. And the second part of the formula is progressive overload, so you note that. And the third part of the formula is 3 protein shakes per day, each with a scoop of creatine and a scoop of oatmeal. Okay, so that's how I do it. I didn't calorie count. I'm sure that's a better way. I have a main objective, which is to launch my business, and that takes up 80 hours a week. So I just can't be, maybe it's an excuse, but I just can't be bothered. So I use rule of thumb, which is drink 3 protein shakes per day, each with a scoop of creatine. And it's worked fantastically. I've put on 40 pounds of muscle just doing that. And for when I need to cut, which I'm doing a little bit right now, just to trim off a little bit more fat, I just eat until I'm 95% full. When I'm bulking, I eat until I am 105% full. And with that rule of thumb, you can cut and bulk absolutely as needed. Wow, there's a lot of traffic for how dark it is outside. It is winter in Canada. Luckily, there's no snow on the ground, so I'm quite happy about that, but it is still really cold. It's 6:30 in the morning, and it looks like it's going to be rush hour soon. But so that's the plan. That's the 3 methods of how to put on the muscle. Now, I want to do a little bit of a review of this mission that I'm engaged in. You can fast forward. I'll put timestamps, so if this is boring, by all means, just skip to the workout and we'll do progressive overload. I'll go bananas on legs and all of that. But basically, I am a little bit beat up today, and the reason for that is the day before yesterday, I had a solid day, which is I had 16 hours of focus, to be exact, 15.58. And I was on the ball. And the next day, yesterday, after about 8.5 hours, I hit my physical limit, which was pretty disappointing, to be honest, because I'm trying to go all out on this mission and you hit your physical limit that fast. Now, how do you know? For me, when I stress out my central nervous system to its limit, then my breathing rate increases and my resting heart rate increases. For example, my resting heart rate last night was 72, where if I'm fully relaxed during the deepest part of my sleep, it's 55. So my heart rate is all jacked up, and I did not get my hours that I wanted yesterday, but I got it the day before, which is pretty good, and so on. So that's why I'm a little bit beat up. My 4 a.m. schedule is slipping, which is unfortunate, because I rotated all the way around. If you're watching my workout series, then I was staying awake till 6 a.m. every day, all-nighters, every single day for months. And then slowly I stayed awake till 8 a.m., then 10 a.m., then 12 a.m. And I pushed it all the way till the next day until I could wake up at 4 a.m. and I maintained that. But it just so happens that I work better on a 26 to 30 hour schedule. So I'm fighting that entropy. But I'm going to link it back to my last rant, which is my rant about Elon Musk and why he inspires me so much. And the topic of that was wired for war. He talks about being wired for war. When you pick a mission and you throw everything you have into it, you pick something and you throw every single thing you have into it. So that means every waking moment and all of your effort. This goes beyond motivation. This is a topic of hyperfocus, where nothing is more important than this mission. And it becomes costly, but this is the topic of Wired for War. Now, this is not for everybody, because it does become very costly. And I'm not saying go out and do this, but that is what Wired for War really means. for months, I've been sleeping under my desk. I've been averaging 70 to 80 hours a week. Now in the summer, I did have a relaxed schedule of about 40 hours a week because I had some friends visiting and we hiked and all that in August. But since then, I have not taken a day off and I've been working 80 hours a week. And that is the embodiment of Wired for War. And I like to use leg day as a proxy to this mission that I'm engaged in. What is the mission? It's pretty much my academy. I have been locked into this academy and I wanna launch a successful academy. That is my primary goal. Nothing else matters but that goal. And to be frank, it is pretty costly. Like, I was reflecting on what it took, and I went from earning $430K per year salary to being on a budget for this mission, which sucks because it's been over a year, and I went from being able to travel wherever I want, having a 4-bedroom penthouse to myself with a collage, an ocean view, an amazing desk, to a tiny little office where I'm sleeping under the desk for this mission. And you throw all of your resources onto it. You take all of your chips back off the table, and while you're doing this, the world moves on. You're stuck on your mission. You are under your desk. As soon as nighttime hits, I literally put the blanket under my desk and I pass out. I have a rash on my elbow. I have a rash on my tricep from sleeping in the dust for so long. And things break. Things break nonstop. So the very first day where I started this mission, which was, I'm going to go to the East Coast. I'm going to pack up my Honda Civic. I loaded it to the top. And so I got in the Civic, and before I left to go to the East Coast, which is a 30-hour drive, I got in my Porsche and I wanted to take it for one last spin because I wouldn't have it because I'm working on this mission. And I took it out on a drive, and I shouldn't have because it didn't have winter tires. I knew this, but the ground was dry. It was like 5 a.m. before my 30-hour drive, and I crashed it. It was a gentle curve. The back end spun out. The roof was off. I like to drive with the roof off even in the winter. And the car fishtailed, rear engine, rear wheel drive. It was APR stage 1 tuned, 450 horsepower, 2,900 pounds. The car was a true weapon. Frankly speaking, my prized possession. And the back end spun out. I went into a 30-foot concrete pole. The roof is off, so I have about 15 seconds of trying to control the car and trying at all costs not to hit the pole, and it goes straight into the pole, back end first, so I'm looking behind me. The pole falls, and I'm watching all of this, and at that moment, I thought I was done. The pole is going to hit me in the head, and that would be the end of me. And what happened? That happened, and I reflected on everything until that moment. You get a bit of a moment of reflection in those incidents, and I just started a mission, day one, where I said goodbyes to my very amazing job with very amazing people, making a lot of money, leading a team of 20 data engineers, working on an amazing reporting automation project for the Canadian government. And day one, that happens, and I had a period of reflection. I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Now, to get that car, I had to put a lot of my money down. I did have it on payments, but I still put about $35,000 down, and insurance did give me a payout, but I don't get that, but you don't get all of that back. So I have to make a decision. Now my car is gone, or do I continue my mission? And you go all in. So I left that same day with a busted up knee, hopping around, Honda Civic full, and I went to the East Coast and I started the mission, and I've been engaged in that mission ever since. So I think that is the embodiment of Wired for War. Is it worth it? I don't know. For me, I'm wired for this, and I don't think I would have it any other way. That moment of clarity, I concluded I would be doing nothing else but working on my chief goal. That is what's important to me. And since a child, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to start a business. I wanted to be an engineer, and I wanted to build stuff and start a business. And slowly I was working up to that. First I got my engineering degree, then I got my first job, and then I studied 3 certifications: cloud architect, professional project management, professional scrum master. I got entry-level project coordination jobs. From that, I worked my way up to senior project management jobs, to workstream project management jobs, to technical scrum master jobs, which was an obsession at the time. It took me 5 years, more than 5 years, to learn how to do all of that stuff correctly. So you go through stepping stones, and each time you go all in and all in. And it came to a point where I was happy with my career investment. I had saved up the amount of money I wanted, and I left to start this mission, and I've been engaged in it ever since, working 80 hours a week. It's been over a year. And I think that is the embodiment of Wired for War. So you pick something and you go all out, you give it everything you got, and it'll probably cost you everything. And the world sort of moves on around you because you're locked into your mission. Most people around you won't understand. Even if you tell them in the beginning you like to work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, they'll say they'll understand, but after a while it gets old, and basically you have to continue the mission on your own. So why do I say all this? I take all of this energy and I put it into my leg day. I take that same mentality, Wired for War, and I go all out. Give it every single thing I got. That will be my rant for today. I'm going to load up 3 plates and I'm going to go all out. Wired for War, Elon Musk mentality. And after that, I'm going to resume the mission. And that's that. I will conclude my rant there. I will see you guys inside. All right, I am on the treadmill. I'm going to do a bit of warm up. Usually I do 20 reps of hack squats with 2 plates to warm up, but not on leg days because I want to keep them fresh. But I'm going to continue the rant a little bit. So I'm going to conclude by saying what it really means, what Wired for War really means, is picking your mission and giving it every single thing you got. I think that's what it comes down to. Now, I'm not saying do what I did. Don't quit your job and try something crazy, but if you're wired to do it, then do it. If you're compelled to do it, if that's all you think about, then do it. Otherwise, don't. Because it's not really worth it. The success chance is like less than 10%. You'll take all of your resources and throw it at it, and it might not work. So by all accounts, I think having a good career is the right play. If you're making a couple of $100K a year, you can work remotely once you have seniority, and there's good learning path. The technology continuously grows, so you get to learn more and more. So I think that's totally fine. But if you like pain, if you like to put yourself through pain, if you like to throw away all your resources, and you like working 12 hours a day in solitude, not knowing if you're going to get a result, then go for it. By all means, if you're one of my academy students, then continue your path and get a high-paying career job and save up money and invest. In fact, if I just did that and invested in Tesla, which I did do, I still do that, but I wouldn't even need to work if I didn't want to. However, I'm wired for this, so I do it this way. Otherwise, after my first job out of university, what I did was I put all my chips back on the table, quit that job, and I went for project management consulting. And that was great. So I would say that's a viable path for 95% of the population, which is a career of their choice that allows them to seek mastery and fulfillment and freedom. I was able to work remotely, and I had 3 days off if I wanted, and it was good. So yeah, I'm not saying do exactly what I did, but if you are wired for it, then go for it. And ultimately, Wired for War means pick something and go all out, give it everything you got. And the leg day, for me, is now a proxy to that statement. Okay, I'll finish this. All right, we are going to start with leg extensions. So for this, what I do is, typically I do an ignition set with 80 pounds and 20 reps, and then I do a drop set with partial reps. Now, I'm gonna skip the ignition set because people are waiting for this machine, so I'll just jump straight into the working set. And the goal here is 36 full reps, 36 full reps, and I forget, I think 20 half reps, and then drop set. So I'll go by feel. All right, so that's 20 reps. Then I'll take a rest pause. The intensity techniques I talked about, not for too long, for about 5 to 10 seconds, and I'll keep going. All right, that's 26. This is pre-exhaustion for the hack squats. Unless I relieve tension on the quads, the burning doesn't stop. That's why I readjust the machine. All right, so I have 10 more to go. Five more. And then partials. All right, so that was 36 plus 16. I'm going to drop set it from 130 pounds to 80 pounds. And then do something similar. Take a rest pause. These are very efficient. The drop sets with partial reps, you can roast your muscles really fast. Of course, the main course is the hack squats, but start here. Yeah, that's 9. Rest pause, keep going. Rest pause at 20. Partials. All right, quads are on fire. Time for hack squats. All right, time for hack squats. All that shit talking in the beginning, that was for this moment. So what's the game plan? The game plan is to go for 20 reps. Last time I got 18. I will use as many rest pauses as needed. Of course, trying not to overdo them. But the key is to keep the weight on me, not get off until I hit failure. And once I hit failure, I'm going to drop set it and then do the amount of reps needed to get to 20 in total. So that is the game plan. I'm going to get in the zone and I'm going to go for it. All right, that's 5. Okay, take a rest pause. Gather myself. All right, one more and I'm at 10. Crap, I forgot how much I was at. I'm gonna say I'm at 9. I think I'm overcounting. I'll check later. One more, I'm at 10. All right, sweet. Halfway there. I'm gonna take a rest pause. Eleven. 12. Take a rest pause. $13. $14. Take a rest pause. Heart rate is near maximum. So that's what I'm trying to get under control. $15. $16. All right, take a rest pause. $17. This one's it, everything I got. Sweet, 18. Take a rest pause. One more, one more. All right. Not bad. All right, 2 more to get me to 20. One. That's 19. Catch my breath. All right, sweet. Set one, happy with that. All right, set number 2. Happy with set number 1, got 18, matched what I did last time. I had my doubts because my cardio is not there because of the jacked up resting heart rate I was talking about earlier, but I got it. Set 1 was the hardest part of the workout of my entire routine, and I amped myself up for that moment. Now that moment's over, it's a lot more chill. But set 2, 3, and 4 are triple level drop sets with 3 plates, 2 plates, 1 plate, and I pyramid them down. So this is going to be 5 reps with this weight, then 5 reps with 2 plates, and then 10 reps with 1 plate. That'll be set number 2. And then set number 3 will be 4, 4, 12. Set number 3 will be, it's a pyramid, I'll tell you guys later. All right. Crap, need a rest pause. Okay, 4, need one more. All right. Drop set. Again, this is what I mean about intensity techniques. Rest pauses, drop sets, maximizing time under tension, staying near the zone of failure. All right, 5 more here. All right, that's 5. And then 10 here, but I gotta catch my breath a bit. Heart rate's at about 180. So pretty close to max. Three more. All right, sweet. That's set number 2. Set number 3. Second last working set before the pump set. And this is going to be 4 drop set, 4 drop set, and then 12 to take me to 20 with the single 45-pound plate. All right, drop set. Four more. Drop set. All right, 12. Use my breath for this. This one turns more of a cardio than a leg, but it does give a leg pump. right, rest pause. Rest pause. There's 8, 4 more. 10, rest pause. Quads are on fire. 2 more. All right, set number 3. All right. Last working set. I can feel the rainbow now. Almost done. So 3, 3, and then 14 on the third level of the drop set. And the goal here is no rest pauses with this weight. All right, 3 more. All right, 14 more. Need my breath. Take a rest pause. Take a rest pause. Shift my weight to disperse the burn. All right, that's 8. Quads are on fire, as is to be expected. 6 more. I'll do them in 2s. Four more. All right, the burn is like a 9.5. All right, that concludes the working sets. Set number 5 is a pump set, which is just with 25 pounds. So we'll do that. Then we'll go check out the pump. All right, set number 5, which is a pump set, which is basically a freestyle set. Just to get a pump going. All right, that's 20. Let's go check out the pump. All right, that's it for today. Nice and efficient workout. Went to failure. Quite happy with that. Let's check out the pump. All right, thanks for joining me. I will see you guys for the next workout for chest and back.
The key to stimulating muscle growth is the intensity of the exercise.
Experiencing pain in your muscles and then go on, and this last repetitions, that's what makes the muscle grow.